It's the top of the hour, and we're ready to start our special 60th Global ILS Symposium session. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us talk about the past, the present, and the future of ILS. And I always try to start with a little bit of anecdote and on the lighter side of things. And uh, it was like around 25 years ago when I was involved with the ICBM program, and we were trying to do a life cycle cost modeling study on whether to replace the ICBMs or extend their life for another 20 years. And my manager at that time says, "Hey, I think we need to hire some graybeards to help us do this project." And I'm like, "Is this a new labor category, or is it some new ICBM title that we need to create?" And look at me now, spending more than half my, of the 60 years I think I've been involved with ILS for the last 35 years. And look at me, I'm sporting a gray beard too now, and finally understand what gray beards mean. So with that little lighter note, I think we'll get started. I have a little presentation from my viewpoint that I'll spend the next 10 minutes going through the slide deck. And then we have some excellent speakers being global. We'll start off with our partners in the UK and Australia, whose recorded sessions were available to me. They had their sessions yesterday because yesterday was the official 60th anniversary or birthday, and then we were off with the federal holiday, so I'm hosting it today. I'm hoping everybody can listen to the audio, and once I play the recording, the audio hopefully will be all working. We've had some issues with my practice sessions where, depending on some firewalls, there might be a situation when I play the recording that the audio may not work. But within this presentation, I have uploaded all the recordings, as well as my slide deck, as well as the YouTube links to all the local speakers from the UK and from Australia. So you guys can either copy those links or download those links or save it. But regardless, after this session is over, we will send you the URL of my recording as well as the recording of the two sessions to you guys directly to the email addresses that we have through the registration. So with that said, I'm going to move on to my slide deck and talk about my experiences with ILS over the last 30 plus years that I've been involved with, and then I'll start playing the recordings of the speakers. We have Jim Colson here today, and he's going to be our live presenter when his time comes up, and then we will go back to the recording from the last presenter. So there's some great group of people that we have gathered today, and I hope you guys benefit from the experiences we have had over the years. All right, so moving on to the next slide. I hope so over the years, the evolution of ILS has been talked about from from the principles to the who's the audio. I can hear something. Jim, can you mute yourself? All right, sorry, there was some background noise. So in my state is just to explain the role. I mean the interpretations of integrated logistics support and what it means to me, and what I've been involved with over the last 3+ decades, supporting many programs within the Air Force, the Navy, NavAir, as well as the F-35 program and Army program. So as you guys have seen, and heard, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people across the globe. I've just noted down some of the terms that have been used, but fundamentally they all remain the same. There's through life support, support engineering, life cycle logistics, all these names. But in the end, I think integrated product support seems to be the term of the day, and I'm hoping it continues into the future. But the bottom line is simple, straightforward. Fundamentals have not changed, and it's basically the role of our logisticians and support engineers It's basically to influence the design, design the support, and then support the design. Now, me personally, I've been involved with a lot of the data standards and the software tools and consulting and training around them over the last 3 decades. So I'm gonna quickly mention the DoD landscape, which talks around the SAE standards and some of the other ANSI AIA standards. But this is what we work with, the GEA standard 0007, the TA standard 0017, and this is all the IPS elements that we go through. And then on the European side, we have the S series specifications that started with S1000D. But to me, it is a packaging of the same fundamental principles around the 3000L, 4000P, and 5000F, and then the 6000T and the 10,000I, which are basically the overarching specs. So there's a lot of commonality between these specifications with the US standards. They just broke it down differently. But I think the intent here is the same between this, and depending on the programs you work with, you might get involved with these specifications and standards. My last slide, was again on the lighter side, and I'd like to end on a lighter side too. There's been a lot of debate of late on the ILS versus IPS and why the name change or why the term change. To me, the reasons have been the following bullets, like, logistics is a misleading term. As commercial logistics took off, in the commercial world, it just means transportation, whereas in the DoD world, it means everything around the supportability engineering. And then I think over the years, even though in the pure term, logistics support analysis was supposed to include in-service, but it kind of got branded as acquisition logistics support. So when we started emphasizing in-service support, we thought it'd be better to not call it integrated product support. And then we did add a few IPS elements, and that was another rationale behind it. But I just want, to me, LS and PS have remained the same. It's really the I that I wanted to focus on. And I have seen some lighthearted discussions on what the meaning of I is. And some programs have said I means I do not have to do it. It'll just fall in place. And then I might mean I can do it just my way. I don't have to follow any other method. And to me, that's also not really the right way to do it. It's a repeatable process that we're trying to create. But truly, the meaning I that started off was integrated, but there's been discussions on integrated versus interchangeable, especially with regards to data exchange and the software tools used around it. So there's been a lot of debates on that. And I think in the future, I hope I involves to be internet enabled and the Internet of Things. And as we go through, I truly will lead into the future of digital transformation and model-based product support. And I think that's where the future lies for us. And I hope it happens in the near term as more and more newer products are enabling the full digital thread and be able to do product support within that same digital environment. So I think that's a great introduction. We got a lot of other speakers. I'm ahead of time. So I'm gonna let you know that because most of the speakers have recorded sessions, if there is any questions come up, please do put it in the panel, in the Q&A panel, and I'll try to answer it. And if not, the individual presenters will get back and answer your questions, and I'll keep them saved under my account. Yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna close out my session, and I'm gonna start over with the first recording. And you'll hear Peter Studdard, who's our partner in the UK with Aspire Consulting. And he's going to talk about his life experiences with the UK MOD and all the programs that he's supported. So